Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and I'm here with a new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for none other than one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. Before I say that, there was actually the 1980s were a big staple for film culture. In 1980, there was the infamous Star Wars plot twist, and Jack Torrance breaking down the door with his axe. 1981 had Indiana Jones running away from a boulder with an idol. 1982 had an alien named E.T. using his finger to call his friends. 1983 had the big send-off to the original Star Wars trilogy. 1984 had several moments. Had the Ghostbusters spring into action, the Terminator saying, "I'll be back," the Gremlins being born, Freddy Krueger forming his little clawed glove. 1985 had Marty McFly and Doc Brown going back all the way back to 1955. And 1987 had a new cyborg named Robocop, who stopped a store robbery, saved a girl from a rapist, and shot down a whole drug factory. That was the signature. This to me is the signature movie of 1987. Basically, when it was released, this movie was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who would go on after this to direct other great classics like Total Recall, Basic Instinct, and Starship Troopers, which were known for their really shocking content. Much like this movie was known for all its really violent gore, and for being one of the most violent sci-fi movies of all time. So, yeah. What else can I... Now, this movie also got two sequels. Robocop 2 in 1990, Robocop 3 in 1993, and a 2014 remake of the same name. Robocop, as for the follow-ups, Robocop 2 is an okay sequel. It's not as good as the first one. Same with Robocop 2014. It's a passable remake, but not better than the original. Robocop 3, on the other hand, is known for being absolute dog shit. Yeah, like a complete dumpster fire load of dog shit. But thankfully, we are going to be getting a direct sequel called Robocop Returns that will go back to the gritty R rating the first two movies had, the way it should stay. And so what is the movie Robocop about? Well, in a violent near-apocalyptic Detroit, evil corporation OCP wins a contract from the city government to privatize the police force. To test their crime-eradicating cyborgs, the company leads street cop Alex Murphy into an armed confrontation with crime lord Clarence Boddicker, played by Kurtwood Smith, so they can use his body to support their untested Robocop prototype. But when Robocop learns of the company's nefarious plans, he turns on his masters. Yeah. This is just a masterpiece from start to finish, and here is why. 1. No one else could play Robocop better than Peter Weller. Like, wherever they cast Robocop Returns, Peter Weller will always be the best Robocop, and nothing can replace his performance. A very exciting plot, some great acting from everyone else, and for a movie that was a budget smaller than another superhero film, Superman 4, the special effects mostly look really great. Robocop's suit is so well designed, and the close-up parts of his head revealing his robot parts look great, courtesy of Rob Bowden. And Ed 209's stop motion is greatly animated and is composited well into the live-action footage. And of course, some very memorable quotes. "Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Let the woman go, you're under arrest. Your move, creep." And even the TV show guy, "I'll buy that for $1." And there's also the old man. Some of the old man's quotes, like when he's confronting one of the villains, "Dick, I'm very disappointed," or "Dick, you're fired," at the end. And some very decent directing from, once again, Paul Verhoeven. Amazing soundtrack that was scored by Basil Polidoris, who actually has one of the best soundtracks in 1980s movie history. And there's plenty of gore to satisfy R-rated action film fans. Like, this is probably the goriest sci-fi movie of all time, and probably the second goriest. Yes, I call it a superhero movie, guys, because technically they kind of call Robocop a superhero now. Second goriest superhero film behind Blade. Now, this is not made by any of those major comic book companies, but it was turned into comics after this film. It also has a satire in 80s corporate America, and there's even a few commercials that play in the movie itself, and it's actually very original. It kind of, apparently Paul Verhoeven actually put those in there to lighten the darker tone, and to also give us some of black comedy tone as well, which really worked well. And plus, after this, Robocop became such a staple icon in pop culture that he appeared in various legitimate commercials that were aired on TV, which is incredibly meta. I think some of the bad qualities would be that it can get a little disturbing for some really people with soft stomach. It's never to the point where it becomes controversial. The special effects of Dick Jones falling out of a window look very awful because his arms are way too long. And one question, like, what happens to Robocop's black chin plate when he takes his helmet off? But, despite those qualities, I think Robocop is a masterpiece from start to finish. I definitely recommend you get off this video and check it out right now when you get the chance, if you have not watched it yet, or heck, even just go watch it again. It is a masterpiece from start to finish, and it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time, my favorite movie of 1987, and definitely one of my all-time favorite movies in general. And here's how I would rank it. I am going to give Robocop a straight up 10 out of 10. Wow, that felt good to finally review a masterpiece. But, anyway guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.